Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Edge webinar. Today, we're going to talk about how does the estimating in your company stack up against the Edge estimator. I've been with the Edge since 1990. I got 35 years almost with the Edge. So I'm going to take you through what I think the value added points are with the Edge, and we'll see how we stack up. So here we go. Let me move to the next slide. I'm just going to go through a short PowerPoint. What makes us unique? Well, the Edge by far is the best construction estimating software. We offer cutting edge technology with the best customer service in the industry, and we understand scopes of work or trade specific things like drywall, acoustical, roofing, fireproofing, painting, wall panels, and soon concrete. The Edge has a secure cloud storage with some cloud features like cloud reports. The program is an all-in-one estimating solution, so you're going to be able to do all your measurements. You're going to be able to assign those to your different conditions that generate materials and labor and equipment and all the things that you need to price out, and then ultimately add your markups. The database has customized assemblies already included, and you can customize them as you wish. We're certainly here to help. We have trade-specific conditions and add-on modules to make the program even more exact and more specific to what you need, like tapered insulation, for example. We have built-in smart labor technology that's trade-specific to the Edge for doing like different studs that are being framed. You might have 18 gauge or 16 gauge or 25 gauge in different heights and on centers. That can determine what your productions or your costs are. Those can be preset. So obviously when you bring them into a project, you can adjust them as needed. It's got built-in integrations using our web-based API technology or our programmer designed integration software that we build for the client specifically. We also have vendor quotes to automate the pricing process. And the Edge has several training options trying to meet the needs of our contractors. That's what's unique. The first thing I want to talk about is I think the most important thing is the Edge Construction Cloud. It works very simply. You just install the Edge on your PC. All of your bids are in the cloud, giving you 24/7 access. And as long as you got an internet connection, all you do is log into the Edge estimator and you're good to go. It's that simple. The benefits of cloud is obviously it's got high-level cloud security. It's got backups continuously, daily. It gives you anytime, anywhere estimating and collaboration for your users. And it's got tremendous storage on demand. So as you grow your business, the storage keeps up with your needs. It's got third-party integrations that we built, and we work with several vendors to make that happen, like Follow Up, Power Beacon, and others. And you have access to your bids through the cloud as well as reports that you can generate without using an Edge license. The Edge is an all-in-one solution, so that means you measure your quantities, you go through pricing and labor to make sure your work is assigned the right costs, and then you review your bids. The program has alerts and visuals for checks and balances to make sure you don't miss anything or you make a mistake. It will allow you to review it and fix it. The reports are great for details about the project. It allows you to check bids before they go out. And then certainly the database. We have conditions and groups out there for all different trades. These are two examples. At the top, we have some drywall examples. Here I've got over here on the right, a 20 gauge 3 5/8 12 foot with bad insulation, or you might use a 20 gauge 6 inch 12, but certainly those could be changed per job, as well as these others here. On the bottom, we have roofing for doing built-ups, cold applied, modified generically, or you can be manufacturer specific like Elevate, Carlisle, GAF, Duralast, and etc. One of our clients wrote to us, it pays for itself within the first job. So what used to take them 10 hours to do, you could do it in 30 to 45 minutes, as long as your database is doing the things you want it to do. And then there's no mistakes because obviously you told it not to make certain things happen. The edge gives you peace of mind. It helps save thousands of dollars and preventing material shortages and tracking labor hours. That's a customer that's been with us well over 12 years. What is smart labor? Well, this is something that I think a lot of companies are starting to adapt to. What that means is that you can set up, whether it's drywall or whether it's roofing, you can set up different parameters in your database. So when those parameters are met, your database automatically provides your production rate or your unit cost columns with the appropriate values, and then you can certainly modify it per job. But it allows all the estimators to work on the same platform and same process. So the estimating software is built for estimators. Let's take a look inside the Edge estimator and take a peek at what I could show you. So I'm going to pull out of the web here. This is the Edge. It runs on the desktop of a Windows platform. Here is an example bid. I'm going to go ahead and open up the bid by clicking on this arrow, and now I'm inside the estimate. Here is a way to get your different, excuse me, let me check out the project because it's in the cloud. I want to check it out, excuse me. And this flagged me and told me that I wasn't able to proceed unless I moved back to the scenarios and checked out the project. So now I'm checked out. These bids are all sitting here in different sections. I have a roofing, drywall, and acoustical bid. So let's take a look at roofing quickly. I just move forward into the next screen. At the top, it's telling me we're working with different pages. In the Edge, it lets you do what ifs. I can set up a TPO versus a modified. I can set up a different style of wall and compare it to another style of wall. So you can do what ifs. Obviously, all you need to do is just turn on and off which is the one that you're desiring to use. So let's take it to TPO roof. Let's look at the cost. I open up the next screen. It breaks down all these conditions, and these conditions are first allowing me to look at different quantities. So I can take off area, which is square feet. I'll stretch out this column. I can measure in linear feet and inches. And from there, the information is set up in the property. So here is an example of a Firestone adhered ultraply 60 mil TPO system. It's 20 feet above the ground, so we're going to use a 10 by 100 roll. Your labor is defined like 10 by 100, so you can price that at a 10 by 100 sheet, material and labor-wise. If you change it to a 20-foot roll, it would automatically change the labor for you automatically. There, the estimators bid on the same concepts or the same labor productions needed. Other things that are important in this condition is we have insulation. So you could set up your insulation type A with fasteners or adhesive. You can isolate the perimeters 1 and 2 to get your perimeter fasteners or adhesive, as well as your corners. All you do is activate it, and these additional items will automatically turn on. And then in the drawing screen, you can set up your colors and your fill patterns, etc. So once I'm finished just taking a peek at that, I want to go take a look at my takeoff. I just click on the arrow to go forward, and then the program opens up what we call a takeoff screen. I'm going to maximize the takeoff. And here, as I go through each of these different conditions, it's going to give me the represented color that these things represent when I did the measuring. So as I go through, I could set up an 18 or 48 or 12-inch flashing for these walls that are measured in linear feet. My linear footages are over here on the right side of my screen. So as I click on each of these different conditions, it's going to break out the segment terminators and the linear footage, as well as the square footage and etc. What's going on also is if I go back to my bid grid, I could flip over to my sections and I could take a look at my drywall in a second. I'm going to take the first floor and look at level 1. And in here, I've got different wall types. I'm going to go to my properties. And in here, it's breaking down all my different wall types by condition. So if I explode, here's my wall type with a 6-inch stud. That's 14 feet high. And it's all identified by this red lines. We could also include at the same time your door bucks. So your door bucks, your trim, your bracing, your insulation. With one clean line measurement, you can get all these items automatically calculated It makes it easy to interact with this screen and change your gauge and your width and your length just by popping into these boxes and changing this information. By doing that, it automatically changes your productions and it changes your material cost and how you order this stuff automatically. So as you go from each wall type, you can clearly see where they are. This is in green. This is another wall type here in blue. And then you could turn on all the different colors and shades to see everything at once. You have your second floor right below it. So if you need to, you can flip to the next screen and see these as well. So your takeoff is associated to every condition. The program gives you 2 screens, so you can work off of the big grid or you can work off your takeoff either in 1 screen or 2 screens or even 3 screens. What's now happening is if you take a particular section, you can select it and then go right into what we call the material screen. And in the material screen, it gives you all the values that you need to look at to review the bid. So here I'm looking at my descriptions of all my products that I use for my wall flashing, my curbs, my roof area, and etc. My roof drains, coping, gravel stop, drip edge, gutters, and downspouts. And it breaks down all the products. It gives you what your estimated quantities are, how you estimated it in the edge by squares, linear foot, etc. And then how are we converting these items on the left to how you order it? So now if you want to send a vendor quote to your customer, and this is using the cloud, you would select these items accordingly, and then you just tap your mouse on what we call vendor quotes. So you select that, and it brings up what we call the vendor quotes, and you can have your different vendors that you have, like ABC Supply, Home Depot, Beacon, and you could send all of these requirements to them. They would get an email from you, and then they would just click on the link, insert the pricing, and it would automatically be resent back to you in the edge. And all of your vendors' quotes are saved in the database in here. So these are all your vendor quotes from the past, and then they would be automatically be sent to the edge. So you could just resubmit it to the edge and then accept it in the pricing screen. That process is very time savings for each user. So the next step is to look at your labor. So if I pop into the labor screen, it gives you the ability to look at different labor. I've labeled these as smart labor items because if you change your roll size of, for example, let's take this 18-inch wall. You notice it's $5 a linear feet or 3 linear feet an hour. You can come in here and just type in 5 linear feet an hour, or you could come over here and just plug in $2,000. So the edge is very user-friendly from being able to adjust these items and these pricing requirements to come up what you need. If you come into the property, which by using this button here, let's say this wall is only 12 inches high. So I'll just accept that and notice the labor will automatically change for you instantly. So now it's coming in as 0. And let's say on this particular 12-inch wall, I'm going to say I can do 0.5 feet an hour. Or I could look at this and say, no, that's too high. I'm going to make this $6 a linear feet or 5. And if I want to save that to the database, the same as in materials, the same as labor, we can select these items and then send it right back to the database. And then you would select production, and you'll notice it'll give you a message that this item was saved to the database. So the next time, all of your labor is going to be delivered to you from the database, so you can start fresh every job with your standards or your de facto standards. The next step is to hit the recap screen. So let's finish up this job. It breaks down all of your items and materials from roofing, drywall, framing, painting. All the materials will be broken into here and their cost. We break down the labor based on flashing labor, roofing labor, framing labor, hanging labor, etc. And then it breaks down the hours and man days over here on the right, as well as your markups for each of these different categories. Material would be a sales tax, for example. This would be your labor burden, so your workman's comp and fringe. and your equipment. If you wanted to add a markup to equipment, you would just double click on this line, click add. And let's say we want to add this markup in here called markup. And maybe you just want to add a 5% markup to this. And I could just click save. And now I've got a 5% markup on all my equipment costs, which is $137.50. And then I can look at my warranty cost is $1,400. And let's say we need to make a change to that. This program allows you to just click on your dollar sign, and it takes you specifically to that warranty. And you could pop into here and say, well, we're going to make this $500. And let's go back to the recap. It will bring all that dollar cost right back to your screen there. So there's your warranty at $1,000. Then we have our overhead and profit amounts. Obviously, you can double click and change these percentages as needed. We do give you a bond entry where you can set up your bond rates based on 100,000 to the 500,000 to 1 million. And then you put in your percent per tier. And that'll give you an approximate amount for your bond, and then a selling cost that includes everything that's in this list. Let's select back over to our sections, and let's say we want both drywall and roofing together. You just hit your recap again, and now I've got my roofing at $92,236 over here on the right, and my drywall's at $177,983. If you hit your bottom end, it's going to combine everything under one selling price at $270,219.48. All your markups are combined into one line. So there's all your sales tax, there's all your burden for each labor, and then you can export all of our screens to Excel if that's what you want. The last step is to hit your reports, and we can select the recap report, which gives you a breakdown of every single subdivision in the edge: drywall, acoustical, roofing, fireproofing, in one report, and you can export that to Excel, PDF, and Word, as well as maybe you want to get a stocking report. So we can click on the stocking requirement, and we can get the whole job, or we could break it down by different divisions, or we could break it down by page, or even by condition. So this would be an example of what we call a stocking report. All of our reports are either through the cloud or from the client piece. All of our reports can be customizable to your needs. And then last but not least, the Edge allows all of us to be able to go to the database, and this is where you can change your different assemblies. You can change your groups to what you need. Like this is exterior walls. If I want to change this particular wall, I just click on the properties, and we're able to manipulate this any way we like. And we could also copy and insert this to create new ones. So you can really customize your database to automate your entire process of estimating. So this combines not only with the client, but if you remember, we talked about the cloud. In the cloud, the Edge gives you the ability to set up different users. It allows you to manage your licenses. It allows you to create proposals. It gives you the ability to download newer versions of the Edge as they're released. It gives you the ability to manage your account codes, your phase codes. You can accept and decline change orders. You have vendor quotes. You can upload pricing through these different templates here. You can change pricing to the pricing manager. You can order your materials through Beacon if that's one of your distributors. The Edge also gives you access from all your bids here. You can see here, there's my webinar. If I click on there and I click on this button here, I can select different reports. I can go into here and I could link it to Foundation's job cost budgets automatically, since we're part of Foundation now. You have different ways of getting your information out to this thing called Interactive Budget Report. I know I'm going through a lot of things, but the Edge is very powerful and it generates a lot of information, whether it's for estimating, project management, or accounting. So also on top of that, we have Edge on Site. And then we're now introducing something called Smart Takeoff, which allows you to work with AI technology to automatically get your takeoffs. More to come on that. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Edge estimator. We're going to go back to our scenarios. And this is our collaboration tool. I'm going to close on this topic. When you're done with your project and you want to secure it in the cloud, the database is always secured, but this job currently is in edit mode on this workstation. So as long as I check it in, somebody in some other office or some other city or some other country can check this job out as long as they're part of the Edge user base in your portal. So I'm going to check this in, so I'm done. And then now I know I'm completely safe to go back to my bids and start working on another job. So this is our estimating solution. Again, the Edge is allowing you to just estimate faster, but you're going to be able to estimate more exact and better with our capabilities within the Edge. So if you have any other questions, please reach out to the Edge. It's you can access our website, or you can reach out to me. My name is John Lombardo, and I can be reached at 561-866-5654, or you can call the main office at 561-276-9100. I wish you a great day, and thanks for sitting in on our meeting today on the Edge. Thank you. Bye-bye.